Welcome to the Gospel Road, James 3. That's what we're going to look at today. It says, "Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with a greater strictness. For we all stumble in many ways. And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also to bridle his whole body. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the ships also. Though they are so large and are driven by strong winds, they are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire! And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among other members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creature, can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human can tame the tongue. It is restless, evil, full of deadly poison. With it we bless our Father and Lord, and with it we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth comes blessing and cursing. My brothers, these things ought not to be. Does a spring pour forth from the same opening but fresh and salt water? Can a fig tree, my brother, bear olives, or a grapevine produce figs? Neither can a salt pond yield fresh water. Who is wise and understanding among you? But his good conduct let him show his works in the meekness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and self-ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not the wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere, and a heart of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." James 3. The tongue. I have a problem with mine. One thing I say a lot, and it's been proven over my career, I do not play politics well with corporate America. Unfortunately, sometimes I just say what's on my mind. It just kind of falls out. I really try to stop it, but it doesn't happen. I do my best, but I fail. Many of us do, but it's something we do need to be careful with. But unfortunately, I have the issue that if I see something being done incorrectly with my job, it needs to be brought up. You know, you sit here and you want to do something better, but you keep doing the same thing. You know, it's the whole definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Or the other, you are trying to fix the problem that was created by doing the same thing you were doing before. How does it make sense? Unfortunately, there's people that when you make those statements, they have problems with that, because not only do we have the tongue, then we have the wisdom that we look at, where people are being self-ambitious, where they are in this for the glory and in it to build themselves up and not build up those that are around them, not to bring a team together, to make the team work as a well-oiled machine. And that's the way it needs to do. We all need to work in this together. And if you want something to build it up, you have to work as a team, because it's not going to be done on the shoulders of one person. Unfortunately, Many that get in to higher levels of management do not see it that way because they're seeing what they can get out of it, their glory, their wallet. Let's be honest. It comes down to greed. Sometimes it's not always the financial greed, but it's the ego greed feeding in their mind. And then if someone speaks against that, well, there's a problem. But again, we have to be careful because there's that fine line when you're talking and holding somebody accountable or holding things of this is how it should be. You're also not wanting to tear anybody down. You're trying to build them up to do better, but then try to encourage them. I mean, you really have two different levels that you're talking here. Number one, controlling of the tongue. Because, again, good and bad can come from your mouth. Even for me, I can say good things about me. I can say bad things about me. I fail a lot and say many bad things about me. Again, that's a mental thing that I'm trying to work through. But, when you have certain ways or being treated certain ways your entire life, you get confined in that way of thinking. You become conditioned that way. And then you have people yelling at you because of what you're doing and saying you're doing it wrong. And I'm like, maybe I know that. But you yelling at me is not going to fix it. Again, it's encouraging, loving, helping someone. Sometimes it's that softer voice that can break through that wall to help someone to do better. Not the in-your-face, let me punch you. Because sometimes that's what it feels like. It feels like getting hit right in the gut. But again, using that tongue, being careful, and not using it out of jealousy or self-ambition. See, that's the other part where that tongue and the wisdom can come in, because you may know, but then you're just barreling through because this is about you and not about anybody else. It's not the way it's supposed to be because we're here for each other. We're here for one another. It's about us. It's about me. It's about you. It's about being better, doing better. Some people, probably not wired that way. There's some that are just not wired to be in charge. They're better at following, doing what they're told. Because they don't always have that creativity or able to think outside the box. They have to be told how to do something. Not being able to look at that big picture and pulling everything together. Now, it doesn't mean that someone can't learn how to do that, because it can be. Some are also just born with it. A lot of that times it's just stopping and thinking. Observing the situation. Think before you speak. Listen before you speak. It's not easy. Like I said, I fail more often than not. Upset people more often than not. Annoy them more often than not. Because I don't always think before I speak, but I try. Or I think, and then I wait and I wait and I wait, and then it just bubbles up and I just throw it out there. Not a good way either. Again, it's being that better person, trying to better yourself so you have more tact when you share your knowledge, your thoughts, your opinions. Strategic. Being careful when you are sharing that, because maybe that's just not the time. And some people just do not want to hear it no matter what. They can say they do, but then as soon as you say it, well, they really, they're lying. They're full of it. They want to have that open door policy, but the door's closed. Their mind's closed. They don't want to hear any other way of how something should be done, or knowing that something is being done incorrectly. They don't care. That's the other part. A lot of times when you're dealing with people that are self-ambitious, they do not really care about the company or anyone around them. It's about them and how they're going to better themselves and how they're going to get farther along in the world. Again, not the way it should be. I probably could be more ambitious than I am. I'm probably a little too laid back because I'm terrible at bragging on myself. I don't want to brag on myself. I do a job and I get it done. I hope I do it well. Pray that I do it well. Trying to learn, it's not easy. But I do the best that I can. Try to be the best that I can be. To better myself the way I can. James chapter 3. Read that. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.